On the night of December 21st, 2017, a husband and wife were driving north out of Los Angeles in a big rig, the way they had done 100 times before. Raul Fernandez was behind the wheel. His wife, Christine, rode beside him. They were from Fontana, an ordinary married couple doing ordinary work, moving a load north in the dark while most of California slept. It was just after 3 in the morning. The sky was clear, no rain, no ice, no fog sitting on the pass. No other car was involved. Neither of them had been drinking. By the time the sun came up, both of them were dead. They did not die at the top of the grade. They died going down it. Somewhere on the long descent north of the Tejon Pass, their brakes quietly stopped being brakes. The truck did not slow. It sped up, and when a driver runs out of every other choice on that hill, the road offers him one last thing: a ramp. A long bed of deep gravel cut into the side of the mountain, built for exactly this. Built to catch a truck that can no longer catch itself. Raul aimed for it. He hit the east escape ramp on the northbound side just south of Grapevine Road, and he was moving so fast that the gravel could not hold him. The truck tore the length of the ramp and struck the mountain at the top. The trailer folded into the cab. Christine was thrown from the truck. Both of them died there, on the ramp that was supposed to be the thing that saved them. The highway patrol looked at the scene and said weather was not a factor. On this road, it rarely is. This was not a freak accident. It was not a bad night or a run of bad luck. It was closer to a routine. It is the thing this stretch of road does, patiently, to people who did nothing wrong except drive down a hill. Hold that couple in your mind. Raul and Christine. We are going to come back to them, because if you drive in California, you already know this hill, whether you know its name or not. It is the grade on Interstate 5 between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Every person who makes that drive goes over it. You have gone over it. You will go over it again. And you have almost certainly done the one thing on it that gets people killed without ever realizing you were doing it. You drove behind a truck. Let me tell you what that truck is doing while you sit in front of it. When engineers study why big trucks crash, they do not usually blame the machine. They blame the driver, the speed, the fatigue, the phone. But when they do find a mechanical cause, the same part fails more than any other. Brakes. In the federal government's largest study of serious truck crashes, the Large Truck Crash Causation Study, run by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, brake problems turned up in about 29% of the trucks involved, close to a third. It is the single most common mechanical failure found at the scene of a serious truck wreck in America. Now sit with what a brake actually is. A brake does not make speed disappear. It cannot. It can only convert speed into heat and then get rid of the heat. That is the whole job. On flat ground or a short stop, that works because the brake has time to cool between uses. But a hill does not let it cool. A hill feeds the truck speed continuously for miles, and gravity never gets tired. So the driver taps the brakes to hold his speed, and taps them again and again. And every tap dumps more heat into steel that is already hot. And here is the part that kills people. It feels fine. The brakes respond. The truck slows. Fine, fine, fine. Right up until they are not fine at all. That failure has a name: brake fade. When the pads and drums get hot enough, the friction material starts to glaze over and stops gripping. Truck brake drums on a long grade can climb past 700 degrees, far beyond the temperature where the linings actually work. And when that happens, the driver can stand on the pedal with everything he has, full pressure, and the truck simply does not slow down. This is the frightening part of the physics. A truck does not need the whole hill to lose its brakes. Once the heat crosses that line, it can shed most of its stopping power in the space of just 2 or 3 miles of hard braking. 2 or 3 miles. That is shorter than the grade you are about to drive. And the truck fights itself. As the brakes fade, the driver feels the truck getting away from him, so he brakes harder, which makes more heat, which fades the brakes further, which makes him brake harder still. A safe descent turns into a runaway in the space of a few seconds, and the driver is a passenger for all of it. Try to be in that cab for a moment. He smells it before he understands it, a sharp burnt odor coming up through the floor. Then the pedal changes under his foot. Maybe it goes soft and sinks toward the floorboard. Maybe it stays hard as a rock and does absolutely nothing. Either way, the message is the same. The speedometer is still climbing, the valley is still rushing up at him, and the single most basic thing he has always been able to do, press the pedal and slow down, is gone. He has tens of thousands of pounds of loaded trailer shoving him from behind and a hill that will not end for another 3 miles. He is not driving anymore. He is aiming. Now think about where you are in all of this, sitting in your little car in front of a machine that can weigh up to 80,000 pounds. You cannot see any of this. Heat is invisible. The truck behind you looks exactly the same at the moment its brakes are dying as it did at the top of the hill. Same paint, same speed, same everything. There is no smoke, not yet, no siren, no warning light you can read from your rearview mirror. The brakes were fine at the top. They are always fine at the top. That is the trap. The thing that makes this drive feel safe, a heavy truck rolling steady and controlled down a familiar hill, is the exact thing that is quietly cooking itself into a battering ram directly behind you. So the danger on this grade is not the crash you are picturing. It is quieter than that, and it is already happening before anyone knows it started. To understand why this specific hill does it, you have to understand why the road is here at all. There is really only one good way to get from the bottom of California to the top of it by land, and this is it. The mountains that ring the Los Angeles basin do not have many doors in them. The Tejon Pass is the biggest one. It sits at 4,144 feet, the highest point Interstate 5 reaches anywhere in California, right where 2 of the largest earthquake faults in the state, the San Andreas and the Garlock, cross each other. Nearly everything that moves between Southern California and the rest of the country by truck comes through this one gap. The produce, the fuel, the packages, the millions of holiday travelers. If you close this pass, and winter ice closes it every few years, you do not just slow down a region, you cut the state in half. People have been threading this gap for centuries. The old Spanish route, El Camino Viejo, went through here. So did the wagon roads. The Spanish named the pass after a badger they found dead at the mouth of the canyon. A road named from the very beginning for a dead animal. The first real highway over it opened in 1915. They called it the Ridge Route, and it was the first paved road to link the Los Angeles basin to the rest of the state. It was narrow, and it clung to the edges of the canyon in tight, blind curves. Drivers of the early trucks would hang halfway out of their cabs on the way down just to get away from the heat pouring off the engine. And there was one curve in Grapevine Canyon that killed so many people it got its own name, Dead Man's Curve. Trucks would come down the grade, lose their brakes, misjudge the turn, and go straight off into the ditch below. It happened so often that locals started calling the bottom of that curve the junkyard, for all the wrecked cars that piled up in it. That was 100 years ago, and the mountain has not changed. What changed is the road on top of it. The ridge route became Highway 99, then a wider expressway, and finally the 8 lanes of Interstate 5 that opened in 1970. We made the road faster and smoother and straighter every time. We did not make the hill any shorter. Heading north out of Los Angeles, you climb the gentle side of the pass, crest it at that 4,000-foot summit, and then the road falls away beneath you. This is the Grapevine, a 6% grade that drops roughly 1,600 feet in about 5 miles down into the flat heat of the San Joaquin Valley. 6% does not sound like much. It is enough. It is more than enough. Now let me put you on it. Picture the drive the way people actually make it. You are heading north, maybe to the Bay Area, maybe just to Bakersfield. You have been in the car for an hour and you are bored. You crest the pass and the whole valley opens up ahead of you, hazy and enormous, and the road tips downhill and your car picks up speed on its own. It feels good, effortless. You back off the gas because you do not even need it anymore. Gravity is doing the driving. That feeling of ease is the first thing the grade takes from you. Because there is a truck on this hill with you. There is always a truck on this hill. It came over the top just behind you, loaded heavy, and its driver did exactly what he was supposed to do. He started tapping his brakes to hold his speed. He has been tapping them for a mile now. The heat has been building the whole time, and you have no idea because you are watching the valley, not your mirror, and say it is night, the way it was for Raul and Christine. Now you cannot even see the truck properly. You see 2 headlights in your mirror, holding steady, the most ordinary thing in the world. You cannot see that the driver has both feet in it. You cannot see the brakes glowing. You cannot see heat. At night, the only warning the grade gives you is a set of lights that looks exactly like every other set of lights, right up until they are closing on you faster than they should be. Now, the road bends. On the Grapevine, the descent runs in long curves, and a curve is where everything comes due at once. Ahead of the truck, traffic is bunching the way it always does on a hill. Someone braking, someone merging, a slow car in the wrong lane. The truck driver reaches for his brakes to hold back, and this is the moment. This is where he finds out the pedal has gone soft or gone hard and dead, and the truck is not slowing, and the curve is coming, and in front of him is a wall of cars that have nowhere to go, including yours. And here is the cruel design of it. There are escape ramps on this grade, those gravel beds meant to catch a runaway, but at least one of them on the northbound side sits on the far left of the freeway. Trucks are required by law to stay in the 2 right lanes, so a driver whose brakes have just failed in the worst seconds of his life has to drag a runaway truck all the way across every lane of traffic to reach the one thing that can stop him. Across the lane you are in. There is no clean way for that to happen. The truck does not get to the ramp without going through whatever is between it and the ramp. You are what is between it and the ramp. There is one more way a truck on this hill can kill you, and it is the reason the title of this video is a warning about driving behind one, not just in front. It is the load. In November of 2023, the day before Thanksgiving, a big rig on the northbound Grapevine lost the cargo it was carrying. 15-foot metal poles came off the truck and scattered across every lane of the freeway. Traffic backed up for 30 miles. No one behind that truck could see those poles coming. That is what sitting behind a heavy truck on a downgrade really means. You are trusting a stranger's brakes, a stranger's gearing, and a stranger's cargo straps, all at once on the worst possible place to be wrong about any of them. Whatever that truck is hiding from your view, and whatever it is about to lose, you are the first thing it lands on. Let me show you how many ways this hill has to kill, because it does not use just one. Start with the ramp itself, the last resort, the safety net. In December of 2017, that net failed the couple we started with. They came into the east ramp so fast that the deep gravel meant to swallow a truck could not do it, and they hit the mountain. The ramp does not always save you. It saves you only if you reach it in time, and at a speed it can absorb. Come in too fast, and it becomes just one more thing to crash into. But do not think that only happens to trucks that are already doomed. In February of 2023, the Highway Patrol's Fort Tejon office put out a warning after a big rig came down the Grapevine and used one of those runaway ramps. Good. He used it. That is what it is there for. Except he was going so fast when he hit it that he very nearly ran the entire length of the ramp and off the end of it. The safety net almost was not long enough. Officers put out the photos as a warning to other drivers because the margin between saved and dead on that ramp is measured in feet. Now understand how common the setup is. On the northbound descent, trucks are held to 35 miles an hour, and it is strictly enforced because the road knows what happens when they are not. In one enforcement operation on this stretch, highway patrol officers made around 700 contacts and wrote nearly 500 citations, most of them for speed or for being in the wrong lane. Sit with that number, 500 tickets. That is not 500 crashes. That is 500 trucks, in a single push, doing on that descent the exact thing that turns a hot break into a dead one. Most of them made it down fine. That is the terrifying part. It works almost every time. Almost. And it is not history. It is now. In the summer of 2025, a box truck and a semi collided near the escape ramp on the northbound Grapevine, and someone was hurt badly enough to be flown out by helicopter. In June of 2026, a car and a semi hauling a tanker crashed just south of the grade near Lebec, and it was serious enough that the Highway Patrol classified it as a major injury collision. These are not the headlines that go national, they are Tuesdays. They pile up quietly in the local news, one at a time, and the road absorbs them and waits for the next one. Look at what all of these have in common and what each of them takes away from you. The Fernandez couple were experienced. They had driven this load north before. Experience did not save them. The 2023 driver did the right thing at the end and reached for the ramp. His good judgment barely saved him. The 500 cited drivers were not drunk or reckless outlaws. They were ordinary working drivers going a little too fast on a hill they had run a dozen times. Being ordinary did not protect them, and the people in the cars near Lebec were not doing anything at all but driving on a freeway in daylight. Being the small one, the innocent one, the one who was just passing through, does not protect you either. The grade does not check whose fault it is before it decides who gets hurt. So what do you actually do about it? Because you are going to drive this hill. If you are in a car, the whole game is space. On the descent, do not let yourself get boxed in directly in front of a heavy truck with nowhere to move. If a truck is riding close behind you on the grade, do not tap your brakes to make a point. Change lanes and let it by, and give it the road. Never do the thing that feels normal, passing a slow truck and then tucking in right in front of it, on a downgrade. You have just made yourself the wall. Watch your mirror the way you watch the road ahead. A truck that is slowly gaining on you when it should be holding steady, a truck that is drifting between lanes, a truck with any haze or burnt smell coming off it. Those are the signs of a machine that is losing the fight, and the only correct answer is to get out of its path and stay out of it. Leave yourself an exit. On a hill, the shoulder and the empty space beside you are worth more than the 2 seconds you would save by holding your spot. And rethink the gap you leave. On flat highway, you are taught to keep a few seconds of following distance so you can stop in time if the car ahead stops. On a downgrade behind a truck, that math flips. The danger is not the truck in front of you stopping short. The danger is the truck behind you never stopping at all. So the space that matters most is not the space ahead of you. It is the space you keep clear beside you and off to the side. The room you would need to move sideways and out of a lane if something big and silent came down on you from behind. A driver will spend the whole descent staring forward. On this hill, the mirror is the windshield that matters. And if you are the one driving the truck, the rules are older than any of us, and they do not bend. Pick your low gear before you crest the top, not halfway down when it is already too late. Let the engine hold the truck back, not the brakes. When you do use the brakes, use them in firm, short bursts and then let them cool. Never a long, steady drag that just pours heat in with nowhere for it to go. Obey the 35. The slow truck you are stuck behind is not being timid. That driver understands the hill. Going down is not the hard part. Going down is where the mistakes get collected. There is one last thing to understand about this place, and it is the thing that makes it so hard to fear correctly. The grade is not out to get you. There is no malice in it. Malice would take effort, and the hill does not make any. It does not know your name, or that you have kids in the back seat, or that you have driven it safely 50 times. It is just a slope and gravity and a truck full of heat that nobody can see. It has been here far longer than the road, and it will be here after the road is gone. It does not want anything from you. That is exactly what makes it dangerous. A thing that hated you would at least be paying attention. This is worse. This is indifference with a 1,600-foot drop attached to it, waiting with endless patience for the one descent where the numbers finally do not forgive. You cannot see heat. That is the whole story of this hill in 4 words. Everything else, the history, the ramps, the tickets, the physics, all of it comes back to that one blind spot. The most dangerous thing on the Grapevine is invisible. It is building right now behind someone on that descent, and the person it is building behind cannot feel it either, not until the pedal goes soft under his foot. So think about Raul and Christine Fernandez one more time. Just after 3:30 in the morning. A clear night, no weather, no other car. A married couple from Fontana who had made this exact drive before and had every reason to believe they would make it again. Somewhere near the top of that grade, their brakes were fine. They are always fine at the top. And then they were not. And there was a ramp built to save them, and they were going too fast for it to work. Christine was in the seat right next to her husband the whole way down. The road did not do anything to them. It just did what it has done since before it was a road. It waited at the bottom of the hill without a single thought in its head, and it let gravity finish the drive. You are going to make that drive someday. Maybe soon. When you crest the pass and the valley opens up and the car starts rolling downhill on its own and it all feels easy, remember that the easy feeling is the first symptom. Check your mirror, leave yourself room, and do not, whatever else you do, sit and coast in front of a truck. If you like this video, YouTube also thinks you're going to like this one on your screen.